Good morning. Happy Friday. I don't know about you guys, but like I'm super excited for this weekend. I have my first craft fair and vendor event this weekend. So super excited for that. Every morning of every day of the week, no matter if we have Vibe Tribe or not, we are starting. Guys, I gotta get a curtain. No, I'm sorry. We start our day with gratitude. So one thing that you are grateful for in the last 24 to 36 hours. I am so grateful that I was able to take last night off my work as well as my personal business, excuse me, to spend time with my husband for his birthday. It's those moments that mean the world, right? So that is something that I'm super grateful for because my husband is very important in my life. Obviously, he's my other half. Um, you know, something that doesn't have to be a materialistic thing that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be a person. It could just be that you woke up this morning and feel great. Today we're also going to do Vibe Tribe news. Other than the pre-launch for Thrive Elite, we also have fall bonus ending in less than a week. We have, Lord, there's so much on the go right now, guys. The Canada versus US
Qualifications for the
Pardon?
getaway.
Oh yeah, qualifications
The
for getaway.
getaway qualifications.
Like there's just so much on the go for this month. Like holy heck, like guys, it doesn't end. So there's also fall bonus. There was something else. If you did not get on Brock Johnson's Zoom the other night, it is recorded. It is in the cloud office. I will put it in today's banner for everyone to see it if you have not watched it yet. Anything other than that, guys, I can't think of it. Miss Lydia is here to help us today with giving us some business tips and tricks from stuff that she does in her daily business. Lydia, go ahead, unmute yourself, turn on your camera, whatever you want to do, and take it away.
So I'm actually going to leave my camera off to today. Not because I don't want to see you guys. Hi, here's my face. But my service is really bad, and so I'm thinking if I leave my camera off, my Wi-Fi is way more likely to keep up. So I'm just going to do the best that I can. Just know that if I cut out, it's not you, it's me. I promise it's me. If I get completely like kicked out, I'll hop right back on. But this is just the reality of living in East Texas. So, good morning, you guys. It's so good to be here with you. I used to do this Zoom a lot. I used to hop on this Zoom a lot, but we moved and our life has been a little bit chaotic. And, life happens, but I never stopped working my business. I never stopped growing my business through all of that chaos. But I'm just now getting back into that routine where I'm becoming more present in a leadership role. And it was really, really great when the girls reached out to me and asked me to do this Zoom. So I'm glad to be with you this morning. I am going to talk about some tips and some tricks, but the main thing that I'm going to focus on is networking and growing your network. I think for some reason we have somehow, I think a lot of it just has to do with, well, go with me here. During the pandemic, when we were all at home and we had nothing else to do other than to be on social media, we wanted to connect with people. We wanted to interact with humans. And the only way to do it was through social media, essentially. And so growing our network was really just a form of existence during that time frame. However, I think now that our lives have gone back to this, new version of normal, we're out and about, the kids are back at school, we're going to church, where, you can go back to work, whatever it is, we're not networking as aggressively as we used to. And the only way to grow this business online is to network. If you're doing craft fairs and you're doing expos and you're doing, holiday pop-ups and all of those wonderful things, obviously that's a belly to belly interaction. And some people people are so good at that. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not my jam. I don't like it. I prefer to grow my presence on social media. I prefer to grow my business on social media. I am an extroverted introvert, and I have social anxiety, so I just prefer to do it this way, and that's okay, right? There's room for everyone. Everyone can grow their business in their own simple way, but you have to network. Regardless of how you're doing it, you have to network. Okay? And I like to keep people awake in the comments just to make sure that you guys are paying attention. If you're driving, obviously do not get in the chat. I want you to focus on the road. If you're not driving, I want you to tell me in the chat, which DFT are you wearing this morning? Okay, I just want to see that everybody's awake. I want to see that you're here. I want to see that you're paying attention. So when it comes to networking, I'm going to talk about networking on Facebook, old school way. I'm going to talk about Instagram, which a lot of people are migrating towards Instagram. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about TikTok. Networking on TikTok is a little bit different, but I'm going to talk about it just for the sake of covering all of the bases. Okay, we're going to start with Facebook. You guys, Facebook is old faithful as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I have kind of abandoned Facebook and I'm kicking myself for that. I really need to get back into the habit of using Facebook effectively because I built a six-figure business with just Facebook. You know, a lot of people who have been with me for a while have seen this massive growth on my social media platforms, but in reality, you guys, I built a six-figure business. I built a 40K team with Facebook. I didn't even have Instagram, let alone use it, right? TikTok didn't even exist. So, Facebook, in my opinion, is old faithful. So, how do we network on Facebook? In my opinion, it is still Facebook groups. Now, I will tell you this, you guys. A lot of people are moving to Instagram, but that does not mean that everyone is moving to Instagram. I had this conversation with Polly, who is on my team. We were talking about this at Thrive Palooza, and I was talking about how, you know, I just feel like everybody's using Instagram or TikTok. Nobody's on Facebook anymore. And she said, well, that's interesting because my demographic, my age group, is not on Instagram. We're still on Facebook. And Polly, you know, Polly is older, so like she could be like my aunt. So just to give you an idea, I'm 29 and Polly could be my aunt. And essentially what Polly was saying is that, you know, her age group, her demographic, they're still very much on Facebook. They're not necessarily moving to Instagram, maybe a little bit, but you know, their trusted information, as laughable as that sounds, is still on Facebook. So, you know, go where you feel called, in my opinion, but don't abandon a platform. And that's where I am kind of having to reel myself back in to Facebook because I feel like I got so heavily into Instagram and TikTok because I was telling myself, oh, that's where my demographic is. That's where my demographic is. I lost sight of the fact that, you know, Facebook is still there. You can still be working it. So anyway, I digress. So when you're growing your network on Facebook, the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to do it in groups. And when you're looking for a group to join, I think it's best to find a group that I like to consider them as different tiers of groups. So I like to join a group of something that I'm not an expert in, but maybe I want to learn a little bit more. Okay, so for example, if you have a health or wellness goal, or if you have like a crafting thing that you're into, if you have, you know, maybe you're into homesteading, maybe you want to learn how to can food, whatever, just something that you're not really an expert in, but something that you want to learn about genuinely. If you have no interest in knitting, don't go join a knitting group. Okay, that's ridiculous. But if you have an interest in, maybe you want to grow some plants in your house and you are terrible at growing plants, go join a group about indoor gardening or something and go in there. And what that's going to do is you're going to go in and pay attention. Because again, you want to join a group that you're genuinely learning about. Ask questions, interact with people, send friend requests. Now, here's the thing. if you're going to be sending friend requests, you probably should have some content on your personal page about growing plants, right? This is my point of, if you're not into quilting, don't join a quilting group, because you've essentially just told everyone, including me, that the only thing you care about is promoting Thrive. You don't actually care about making a relationship happen. Okay. So if I join a group about indoor gardening, I should probably at some point in the history of my page be talking about the fact that, my giant bird of paradise is my favorite plant ever. Okay. Give me a 2 in the chat if you're tracking with what I'm saying here. Now, the other group that I recommend joining is, I recommend being in a group that you are a quote unquote expert in, or quote unquote it's your entire life. So for me, this was always mom groups, but don't just go into a mom group. Get specific. Okay, get specific if you're going to go into those large overarching topics. So for example, I was always in groups for moms of multiples because my kids were 2 under 2 and my kids were then 3 under 3. So I was in groups for 2 under 2 and I was in groups for 3 under 3, because I knew that I had a very baseline connection with those women. Okay, we were on the same page, we were on the same level. If I sent them a friend request, they were going to see my children growing along their children. We had a connection. Okay, if you are a mom who, has a teenager, you should be in a group of moms of teens. If you have a daughter who is super into dance, you can be in a dance moms group, whatever. You're getting my point. Mom is a very, very large topic. Okay, we have to dig a little bit deeper. Maybe you're not a mom. Maybe you're in the stage of being a grandma. Okay, maybe you could be in a grandma group. Maybe you're none of those things. Maybe you're a college student. There are so many groups for everything, but find one group that you could talk about it all day because it's your life. It just is your life. Maybe you're a mom who's, crunchy, quote unquote crunchy. You're into natural remedies and you're into eating organically and all of those things. Join that group. One of my favorite groups that I was a part of was Women in Agriculture, because that's what our family does. We're in the ranching industry. So I was in a group for women in agriculture. I knew that I had a connection with those women right off the bat. Okay. Hopefully this is making sense. And I would say also, just join some groups for fun. You never know where you're going to make a connection, and it's okay to have fun. I'm in a group. Anybody who knows me knows that I am obsessed with the Twilight Saga, whether it's the books or the movies or the soundtracks. Yes, I am an almost 30-year-old who watches them religiously. Okay, that is just who I am. You better believe that I am in a bunch of Twilight groups. Okay, just because you can enjoy your social media. The moment you start treating your social media a little bit too much like a robot, you're going to lose sight of what you're trying to do there. Remember what social media is for. It's for building a connection. Yes, we can preach and march to the drum of, this is your office. When you get in your social media, you need to make sure that you're working your business and you're doing it with effectiveness and efficiency and yada, yada, yada. Yes, don't get sucked into a zombie scroll, but also remember, what is the purpose? The purpose is to make a connection. Everybody and their dog wants to get noticed on social media these days. Literally. Everybody wants to be a social media influencer. Everybody wants to be noticed. Everybody wants 1 million views. Everybody's just pushing out content for someone to look at, saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. The thing that is going to set you apart is being able to say, look at me. I want to connect with you. Look at me. I want to share with you. Instead of just look at me, look at me, look at me. Okay, give me 4 in the chat if you're understanding the difference of what I'm saying with that. I'm going to move over to talking about Instagram, because that's really all I have to say about Facebook as far as growing your network. You need to be in groups, you need to be interacting in the groups, and you need to be sending friend requests, period, point blank. I would say if you are actively growing your business right now, which we all should be, you should be sending 10 friend requests a day. Are they all going to be accepted? No. However, you're going to make some new connections. All right, let's move over to Instagram. So, like I was saying before, not everybody is feeling like Instagram is the bee's knees, but then there's also the other camp that is like, Instagram is the only thing I ever want to do ever again. Okay, so I feel like we we have a little bit of both within the industry, right? I know there are some of the California teams, like Twins team, um, they don't even use Facebook anymore. Like, they're literally, everything is on Instagram. That's just where they live, and that's fine. Like I said, I do feel like a lot of my demographic is on Instagram, but a lot of people's demographic is still over on Facebook. So just take what I'm saying, learn something, educate yourself, and decide what works, and give everything a shot. Okay? Be brave, give everything a chance, because you never know what is going to happen unless you try. Okay. So networking on Instagram, in my opinion, is actually a little bit simpler than Facebook, because Instagram doesn't have things like groups. Instagram's pretty dang straightforward. So in my opinion, the best way to network is, one, you need to be creating content. And by creating content, I mean, you need to be creating reels. And at some point I will do an entire Zoom about creating reels and TikToks. I promise I will do it. I know Brock Johnson does a lot, but I think a lot of people need to hear it from someone within their network, and someone who is of the same gender as them. And as amazing as Brock Johnson is, his only goal is to gain followers. So we want to make connections, and that's a little bit different, in my opinion. So reels are the best way to be seen on Instagram right now. Should you only be posting reels? I don't think so. I think some people still want to see pictures. You need to be in your stories. You need to be sharing your life. Okay. But I do believe that reels are the only way to get good exposure. So you need to be creating reels. Now, think about reels in the same way as you think about your Facebook groups. Talk about things that you are either an expert at, or maybe things that you want to learn more about. Let's use the plant example. Okay, I have this plant. It's a giant bird of paradise, and it's beautiful. It's this beautiful plant. So I could take a video of that plant and say, does anyone, or, I always make my stuff funny. So I could take a video of the plant and say, point of view, you're praying to God that you don't kill this beautiful plant because you can't keep a single plant alive. You put a trending audio on it. You put a few hashtags on there that, plant mom, indoor gardening, whatever. And then you throw it out there for the world, right? Instagram is actually very, very good, in my opinion, at finding your people. I know some people are saying that hashtags are dead. I don't subscribe to that channel. I don't. I have 52,000 followers on Instagram, and I can tell you right now that every single one of them found me from a hashtag. Some way or another, whether they were scrolling or whether they were searching, it is because I was using a hashtag. I will die on that hill. Instagram was trying to introduce the category thing when they finally push that out. I'm sure that the categories will become more relevant than hashtags, but right now I still subscribe to the belief that hashtags work. Now, should you be putting 30 hashtags on everything? No. 4 or 5. Pick 4 or 5 and stick to them. If I post a mom video, I have 4 or 5 hashtags that are relevant to that content. If I post a ranch wife agriculture video, I have 4 or 5 hashtags that are relevant to that content. Okay. You don't need to inundate the algorithm with hashtags. You essentially what a hashtag is, in my opinion, is like putting a point, a coordinates into your GPS. When I put hashtag ranch wife, I am putting it into my GPS coordinates on that post saying, I need you to go find the other ranch wives. It's like a bloodhound. So when you're thinking about those hashtags, think about, what are the GPS coordinates of this post? Who do I need this post to find? Don't put in there hashtag, I love my mom because she's so great and wonderful. That is not going to find anybody. Okay. Hashtag mom appreciation might find someone. Give me an amen in the chat if you're understanding what I'm saying about that. So, reels and putting content out into the universe is one of your main ways to network on Instagram. The other way that you can network is by, obviously, again, building connections. Build connections with people who have like interests with you. So if you go to the Instagram search page, and you put in a hashtag or a topic. So I can go in there and I can put hashtag farm wife. Okay, I can put it hashtag farm wife. And Instagram is going to put up all of the content that has hashtag farm wife on it. And I can begin to scroll through that. Now, when I'm scrolling through that and I'm sending requests or I'm following people, I am not sending and following people who have 2 million followers. Okay. I'm literally just going to get lost in the wash there. The people that I'm following are the people who are creating content that is similar to mine. And it's obvious to me that they have a pretty relatable platform as far as, the amount of followers. Okay. So for example, I type in hashtag farm wife and I start scrolling through the posts and I see that, someone in Missouri posted a photo of her family with their combine because they just finished harvest, and it has, 56 likes on it. And I click on her profile and she has, 800 followers. She's got farm wife, Jesus lover, agriculturalist in her bio. Follow. She's going to see that I follow her. She's going to go to my profile and she's going to see that we have something in common. She's going to follow me. That is essentially the version of Facebook groups on Instagram. Put in the hashtag, put in the topic, go find the people. Follow them, and then they will go look at your profile and they will follow you. Okay? So that is Instagram. The other only thing that I'm going to say about Instagram before I move into TikTok, and then I'm going to have to go get my little ones ready for school. I had a really, really interesting conversation. I have a friend who is near and dear to me, and she has been near and dear to me for 10 years almost. She's not a thriver. And I almost love that about her because she's an incredibly unbiased case study. I don't know how to describe it. I just love having conversations with her because I just feel like she's not at all in the same camp as I am. And we were talking about someone who we both mutually know in person. We both know this person. And this person is very obviously trying to be a social media content creator. Keep in mind, that's my job title. I am a Thrive promoter / full-time social media content creator. That is what I do for income, Thrive and social media. So that's what I do too. That's my job description. But this person is very obviously trying to become a social media content creator. And we know this person from church. And we were talking about, I wonder where she lives now. That was the question. I wonder where she lives now. I don't think she still lives in the town that we lived in. I don't think she lives there anymore, but I don't know where she lives. And my friend said this. Yeah, it's really hard to tell anything about her life because all she posts about is herself and this type of content that she's trying to go viral for. And it was a huge aha moment for me, where it's that difference between look at me, look at me, look at me, versus look at me, I want to connect with you. Look at me, I want to add value to your life. So when you are growing your social media, ask yourself that. Is my content so me-centric that there's no depth to what I'm saying? And listen, you can lean too heavily into the thrive. If your profile is so heavily thrive based that that's all you're talking about, there is no depth. It is look at me, look at me, look at me. Not look at me, I'm trying to have a relationship with you. So do share your life. Share the little mundane moments. If you're a mom, this is something that I feel like people are shocked by. I'm a mom and I am labeled as a mom motherhood content creator, and I don't share my kids on social media. You will very rarely find one of my children's faces on social media. You might see the back of their head, but I don't actively share my children on social media for personal reasons. And yet I am still able to be a motherhood content creator. If a mom of 3 farm kids goes to my profile, she is going to see that I am also a mom of agriculture kids, even without seeing a blatant family photo. Why? Because the content I am creating is connecting with her. I am effectively communicating to her who I am and how I'm going to add value to her day. Okay, let's very briefly talk about TikTok. TikTok is a weird creature. TikTok is a super cool tool, super weird creature. Okay? I don't even, it's a machine. It's an incredibly smart algorithm. It's actually smarter than Instagram as far as I'm concerned. Instagram is a good soldier. Okay? TikTok is an anarchist. It's out of control. So when you're creating content on TikTok, you need to keep that in mind. You really have no control over where it goes. You have no control over who sees it, and you have no control over who follows you. I have over 130,000 followers on TikTok, but I value my Instagram more than I value my TikTok because my TikTok is so off the wall. Like, I don't know who's following me and I don't know for why. I don't know if my videos are even being seen. Right now, my views on TikTok are terrible. Terrible. And I have no control over it. Absolutely no control over it because TikTok is just wild like that. Does that mean that you stop creating content there if that's where you choose to create content? Absolutely not, because you never know when it's going to pop off. You never know when it's going to pop off. And actually, I'll mention this right now, and hopefully everybody is listening to me. If you go into your cloud office under company updates, I believe it is the second update, it was as of last night, there is a TikTok contest that Thrive is doing, where you go to TikTok, you use the sound on one of their videos, and you create your own. And they're going to choose 5 winners from that. Okay. So if you have just been dabbling in TikTok, or maybe you haven't even done a TikTok yet, there you go. That's a good opportunity to go and do it. The only reason I'm bringing up TikTok is because I think it is a really, really cool way to get a lot of visibility. I just don't like for people to get, I don't know, I don't want people to spin out over TikTok because it's just very strange. Go right ahead. I see
So,
someone has their hand raised.
I I just pulled up the announcement that you were talking about, Lydia. Thrivers, you have until Sunday, November 20th at 10:59 p.m. Eastern to enter our fall challenge. We want to know, what does thrive and thriving mean to you? And then it gives you all the descriptions on how to enter, and then the prizes and stuff as well.
Yeah. And all you have to do is use a sound, create a video, and use some hashtags. Okay. Very, very simple. And you're going to be able to communicate to the world why you're using these products. Right. So very simple, 2 birds with 1 stone. But again, it's a great way to get visibility. I just don't like for people to spin out and be like, this is it. Like if I go viral on TikTok, I'm going to sign 5,000 customers. It's the same as any other social media platform. You have to remain consistent, you have to make connections, you have to find your audience, and you have to be, willing to keep trudging on when you don't go viral. Because trust me, the going viral is very rare. I had a video while we were in Mexico. I posted it on TikTok. I very rarely talk about Thrive on my TikTok just because it doesn't necessarily fit in the narrative that I have going there. I talk about Thrive on my Instagram and Facebook. But I posted a video about how my 3 years ago, I started a little Thrive hustle, and now I took my mom on vacation to Mexico, and it blew up. And I had people asking, what are you doing? What is it? Tell me more. I want info, yada, yada, yada. And I spent 2 solid days responding to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And I'll tell you this, the first thing that I did was I created a funnel for myself and I sent them to Instagram. Because, like I just said, every day in my stories on Instagram, you will see Thrive. So I had a video go viral on TikTok, but when they messaged me wanting more information, I said, hey, can you add me on Instagram and send me a message there? It's easier to send information. Because TikTok doesn't let you send photos. It doesn't let you send links. It doesn't let you do any of that. So for obvious reasons, I did need them to message me on Instagram, but 2 birds with 1 stone. I was then getting them over to my platform where they're going to see Thrive. Did I sign up hundreds of people? No. It was an incredibly small fraction of people that actually committed, but I do have lots of people watching now. Okay. So again, the only reason I even bring up TikTok is because yes, it is a useful tool. You just can't fixate on it because it is wild. Okay. It is a wild animal and it is not going to be tamed anytime soon. Okay. So I know a lot of people put a lot of eggs in that basket, and I think it's a good basket to have, but I don't think you should be putting everything into it. And I don't think you should be losing any sleep over it either. So you guys, that's all I've got for you today. Get your 3 steps in, go have a great day, make your bed, do something for personal development today, make yourself a better human being, and do follow-ups. If you have not touched base with people, do it, because you are a customer service representative and you are in the customer service industry, and it is your job to take care of people. And this does require work. You cannot sit on your butt and ask the universe to dump blessing into your lap. The universe dumps blessing into people who are running with their arms open. Have an amazing day, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lydia. We appreciate you jumping on today. We will get in your inbox again. We're looking for January, February, but I'll message you later about that. Anyone have any quick questions for Lydia before she has to go get the kiddos up? Because I know she is running out of time before the kids have to be up. Go for it, Melinda.
What do you think about YouTube Shorts?
I think if you want to do it, go for it. When they first came out with it, I tried it, but frankly, I just think that you can't have your hand in every single cookie jar because you only have two hands, if that makes sense. Like you can't overwhelm yourself. Now, if you're someone who loves YouTube and you spend a lot of time on YouTube and you see that being a valuable platform for you, sure. But like, I don't even use YouTube for myself. So why would I be on YouTube creating shorts? Like, I don't even think to check YouTube. And that's what I realized when they first came out with it. It was like, oh yeah, I should do that. I'll just upload my TikToks to these YouTube shorts. And it was like, wait a second, I don't even like being on YouTube. Like, this is dumb. So just use your best judgment. You can use the same thing for TikTok. If you hate TikTok, don't force yourself to be on TikTok. It's very simple, you guys. It's, again, that's the humanness of social media. You're not a robot. You know, yes, you're trying to grow your social media. Yes, you're trying to bring in new customers. Yes, you're trying to do those things. But at the end of the day, remember what social media was for making connections with like-minded people.
Elaine has a message in the chat. Lydia, is there a way to get rid of tons of foreign men following me? I delete most of them, but don't know how to get a different, I guess you mean following, Elaine?
I think a lot of it has to do with the hashtags that you're using. A lot of hashtags are kind of like bot magnets. And that's why I say, you need to get a little bit more precise with your hashtags. If you're like, for example, I'm trying to think of a hashtag. Unfortunately, things like hashtag women's empowerment, that's going to get a lot of bots just because it's the things like bodybuilding is going to get a ton of bots because it's just such a massive hashtag, millions and millions. All of those things that all those things that you're using are so massive and female centric that you're going to get a lot of bots on that. So you need to hone in on your hashtags and narrow it down a little bit and get a little bit more depth into your hashtags. I mean, you might think that you can make a connection with someone over being a redhead, but in reality, you can probably find something else about yourself that has a little bit more depth to it and that you can make more of a connection with and avoid those hashtags that are drawing in the wrong audience. So I would narrow it down a little bit. Moms who lift, moms who, I'm trying to think of moms who lift, girls who lift, women's fitness, even that one's kind of iffy, but those are a little bit more specific.
Okay. Diane, I saw you on mute.
Doesn't bother you as much on Instagram as it is on Facebook? Or is it both?
You cut in and out, honey. We missed it.
Because I'm constantly blocking them on Facebook.
Yeah, it cut in and out.
I'm constantly blocking them off of Facebook. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You can't hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Because I'm constantly blocking them off of Facebook. Do you get it as bad on Instagram as you do on Facebook?
You mean bots? Yes.
The creepy men. Okay.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Instagram much anymore.
As somebody who uses like the newlywed hashtag, people get in my inbox and they're like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You need to marry me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm married."
Yeah.
Block, delete.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, and again, nobody, it's really hard to have some constructive criticism, but you really have to look at your content. And I promise you that when you niche down, you will find that you funnel a lot of that out. A lot of content, we make it so broad and so wide and so surface level, again, just trying to get views, right? Like, if all you're trying to do is get views, then I guess you're getting it, you're just getting it from the wrong audience. So when you dig deeper and you make content that has a little bit more depth, you're much more likely to find that correct audience. All right, guys, I've got to hop off. And if anybody has any other questions, you can just ask the Vibe Tribe ladies and they can send it over to me.
For sure. Thank you, Lydia. Guys, while we're still recording, do not forget Monday is Andrea and Katie Sue, your why, and why it is so important to have a why. Wednesday next week, we have Shayla coming in hot. And then we have on Friday, Shannon and Star. I will not be here next Friday. And then the following week, we have Miss Kayla, and then Sky and I are coming in hot with an app to explain how to use this app and how it has changed our businesses. All right. That is the next 5 Zooms. And then we are into December, you guys. We have 30 days. Where do we find, do you mean the upcoming Zooms, Pat, or do you mean like Zoom history? Upcoming Zooms I have, Shannon has, and anyone in Vibe Tribe has, because we're planning them, right? So we have the lists. If you want to host a Zoom, get in my inbox and we can hook it up for you. December, you guys, we are counting down the days to the end of the year. Next month, we are talking mindset, and we have some pretty amazing people coming in to talk to you guys, and a very special guest. Not a lot of people know this thriver. Not a lot of people know her story and how she became 12K in a month. But she's coming in hot next month. Sky is going to introduce her because she is a friend of Sky's. I just threw that on Sky, guys. I'll get yelled at later. Next month, we have a lot of ladies coming in. We have Addie Maloney coming. We have Ashley Olsen coming. We have an unmute and talk. So if there's any topics you guys want to talk about, we won't record that day. We have Melissa Toomey coming back. Melanie Rathford coming in. And then we are taking 5 days off of Vibe Tribe in December for Christmas, for us Vibe Tribe leaders to have Christmas and spend time with our families and to travel. So some of us have to travel. Sorry, it happens. But we are taking a few days off. But other than that, you guys, we're going to be ending this month strong. And January is looking pretty good too. So keep that in mind. So stay tuned, you guys. Those who are here, we're going to hang out a little longer. If you want to, those that are catching the replay, we'll catch on Monday.